Hey folks, Jim Thomas here, Fitness Management and Consulting, and welcome to our channel today. I appreciate you being here. If you've not yet done so, if you're not subscribed to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Helps us, reach a larger audience, help us grow our base to help more people grow their business, here inside the fitness and gym industry. And then also be sure to check out our links below for special offers, special opportunities, and ways that you can further, grow your business. Now, our topic today are the 7 secrets to gym growth. Let's get into it. Number one is cash flow management. And one of the things that we have found, certainly in the last several months, we've seen this big time. When it comes to cash flow management, two of the big things in there. Number one, make sure that we have manageable debt. And preferably there's no debt at all, right? But if you have debt, make sure it's the kind of debt that's going to produce revenue for you, it's going to produce income for you. This could be your equipment lease, right? Would make a lot of sense. Staying away from lines of credit debt, credit card debt, unless we're able to pay these things off quickly and immediately. These are the things that are going to get you in trouble. And quite frankly, the clubs that have had the most trouble, in the last several months, these are the clubs that had what it came down to unmanageable debt. And it was all that unsecured nature. Okay. The second thing is, in terms of cash flow management, is make sure that you have at least 1 month operating expense cash on hand. So if it costs $40,000 a month to run your business, let's at least have $40,000 in the bank, and let's continue to grow that. But also have ways to manage your budget, control your budget, make sure you have a budget, make sure you've taken the time to do that, and also make sure you're showing growth in there. And start managing that right away. Don't just kind of fly by the seat of your pants and look at your checking account, and that's how we do that. Number two is responding to competition. And one of the things I would suggest that you do is make sure you check out your competition, find out what they're doing, and maybe even more importantly, finding out what they're not doing. Because one of the things that you want to be able to do is find out in your marketplace, what can you do that nobody else is doing. And you can start to do that. You start to get some real differentiation. This is how your business can really advance and how your business can really grow. The other thing about competition, that I talk about all the time, is when you start checking out your competition and know what they're doing, many times you can learn what not to do as opposed to maybe things that you should do. And if I could add one more thing on here when it comes to competition, be mindful of this. Don't simply make decisions based on one thing that you see. Make sure you do your homework on this, because I know I go in and talk to a lot of clubs, and they're struggling, and something's not working right for them, and I'll ask them, well, hey, how did you decide on this? What made you decide to go this direction? Oh, well, we shopped a club. This is what they were doing, so we decided to do it. And the reality is, how do you know it was even working for them? Okay, so be mindful of your competition. What are we going to do? How are we going to differentiate ourselves? And what can you do that's not being brought to your local marketplace? Number 3, in terms of secrets to gym growth, is nurturing a great company culture. And what do you want your company culture to be? And just determine that, and again, do some research on this, and make sure we nurture it. We're maintaining that interest. We're maintaining that desire to do this. One of the books I would recommend here, there's a book called The Nordstrom Way. Would be a nice book to read when you talk about company culture. And one of the things that Nordstrom's has always done is, in terms of company culture, is their employees, they were empowered to settle complaints with customers, and it's kind of what that book is about. Check out that book. It's a great book, and talking about company culture, something that maybe you could do. In some cases, sometimes that selling culture, we need to get that production culture in there, and making sure that we're nurturing that on a regular basis. It's not going to be good enough just to say it once and think that it's going to happen. So we want to get that real good company culture in there. Number 4, and I see this a lot. I work a lot with gym owners across the country, and it's learning when to delegate and when to get involved. And certainly, I think delegation, I know for a lot of folks, I know when I was coming up in the industry and becoming an owner and leading people and running things, my tendency was, let me just do it myself. I can get it done better and quicker faster, than anybody else. And there's very much a tendency to do that. But it gets you bogged down. There's other things you need to be doing. You're not developing people. And so as people kind of earn the right, learn to delegate, trust them to delegate, take baby steps on it, but learn to delegate. And then when do you need to get involved? And all too often we don't really understand kind of what our job function should be. And in part, I know certainly owners, they wear many hats doing this, but I like to say that half our time should be spent planning and thinking and implementing sales and marketing programs. And so where am I going to get involved? I'm probably going to get involved in that because my big job is I want to make sure that we're driving traffic, we're getting people in that front door. So I'm probably always going to have my hand in that to an extent, but then learn to delegate these other things and what can be delegated, simple tasks at first, and as they complete those and prove they can do it, and they can move on to something bigger. Okay. Next on our list is keeping up with market changes. Keeping up with market change. The market's going to change. It's already changed, right? We think back. This video is being produced here in October of 2020. Think back to March of 2020 and all the changes that we've been through, but being able to adjust to market changes. And part of the secrets to this when the market changes is making sure we keep our head right. And we stay positive and we stay focused on desired outcomes. Because if we go back a few months ago, back in March when a lot of clubs were shuttered, we had a rule that you couldn't tell anyone you were closed. Because even though the front door might have been locked, we were still doing business. And our focus was, hey, we want to give an unprecedented level of value. We want to give an unprecedented level of service. And we need to know that people will still buy. We can still sell. At some point this is going to end. And so we had a complete plan, and we adjusted immediately to the market changes. And even right now, there's a lot of folks that may want to exit the industry. They might be forced to exit. There's some great opportunities right there to exponentially grow your member base and take on those members. So keeping up with market changes and being aware of that and being mindful, that's going to be tremendous. And then finally, deciding when to abandon a strategy. Okay, you're going to try something out. Hey, when do you abandon this? And one of the things that I would talk about a little bit here is the value of testing. Is testing a couple different ways to do something. Which one works best? Look at your metrics, look at your data. What information is coming back at you? If it's low for 1 month, okay, maybe that tells you something. Maybe it doesn't. If it comes back low the second month, well, maybe now it's telling you something. But start doing some testing. And I know for a lot of you folks that are clients or have been clients or maybe even future clients, when we get into a turnaround situation, we don't really recommend any testing at all. We're going to go with historically what's going to work and what's going to work best for you. But as you kind of stabilize and normalize your operation, start to do some testing. See what works, see what doesn't work. So now you have a better indication of what direction you want to go. And hey, let's abandon this particular strategy because that information is not working like we need it to. So those are some secrets for you of to grow your gym. Take a look at them. See which one fit you. Which ones, hey, I'm doing this. Hey, here's an area right here. We could put our foot on the accelerator right there, and we can have some growth. So good luck on this. Take a look at it. If you want to comment below, you want to reach out to me direct, happy to chat with you. Actually, you can click the link below. We're offering a free strategy session for 45 minutes, and those typically are limited. Those things fill up pretty quick. So grab that link below for that, and then also check out other links below for opportunities and different ways you can grow and develop your business. And again, if you've not yet done so, please hit that subscribe button. My name's Jim Thomas. Hope you all have a great day. Thanks.